Hello, and welcome to The Spotlight, where we interview local musicians and learn of the various routes a musician can take in order to reach their idea of success. So, if you're a part of or interested in the music industry, this is for you. And if you're interested in learning to create music, develop new skills, or build your own brand, you can visit our online resources page and check out ArtistWorks or lynda.com. There you can build new skills and enhance others just by using your library card. So our guest this evening is soul artist Cheakaity Brown. Cheakaity Brown is a DMV native raised in PG County, Maryland, and he has been described to be a vessel of pure soul. He produces a unique sound that's marinated in gospel, blues, neo soul, and rock. Cheakaity has been creating and performing up and down the East Coast for years. He started as the frontman for a band named Acme, and in 2017 released his first solo debut EP titled Uno. I have invited Cheakaity to speak about his journey with music and some of the routes he took to get where he is now. So let's give a warm welcome to Cheakaity Brown.
What's up, man?
What's up, man? How you doing? It's good to see you.
Good. Long time, man.
It has been a while.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for joining me today, man, and putting yourself in the spotlight.
Oh, wow.
I invited you today because you're involved in the music and entertainment industry, and you're someone who emerged from Prince George's County. So I'm hoping today that we learn about your story and the ones watching can find some type of inspiration or tips to pursue their own dreams and reach their goals. Because I feel like there's so many different paths that a musician can take. So it's good that we hear our options. So, right. Cheakaity, I want to give you the chance to introduce yourself and, tell the world or tell whoever's watching a little bit about your story, about who you are.
Hey, world, PG County. I'm Cheakaity, artist, singer, producer, writer from right here in Prince George's County, Oxon Hill, born in DC, raised mostly like a lot of us. I've been a musician since I was like 2 or 3 years old, grew up in church. And then I would say I was an artist from like 19 until the present. So that's like 20 plus year journey. So The story in itself.
That is a hike. All right, man. So like when I listen to your music, I hear a blend of so many different sounds. And I really enjoy your music. While I'm listening to it, I hear some hints of funk. I hear gospel. I hear soul. I hear rock. I hear a lot of different styles. Can you tell us what it was that inspired you to get into music and to perform for people?
Okay, so like I said previously, to get into music, born and raised in church, went to an African church, and the first thing that gravitated towards was the drums. Because we had a really talented drummer at our church. He played like really fast and loud, and I'm like a kid, I just was drawn to it. So I picked up the drums really, really young. Then around like 12 years old, I picked up the keys, and I used to love Michael Jackson growing up. Right. Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder. Got into rap around like middle school, but it wasn't until like high school that I started like messing around, like producing and writing my own songs, making beats. What really forced me, or I'm gonna say forced me, really pushed me right into the path of doing that was college. I got into the school I wanted to, but we ran into the recession and my parents couldn't pay for it out of pocket. And I didn't really know too much about scholarships and I know I didn't want to take out a loan. So I was like, what am I good at? I was like, okay, I'm really good at this music thing. Let's just try it. And then I would not recommend doing it just like that. If that's your journey, do it. But I wouldn't say go and do it just like that. If you have any form of stability, don't forsake your form of stability. But For me, it worked out. And pretty much from there, like it was just, trial and error until I'm kind of at where I am now, which is just now peeking my head out. And like people that are famous know about me now. So
you said one thing that really stuck out to me was what am I good at? That's something that I try to encourage a lot of people to figure out what skills you already have, what are you already doing and make that work for you.
Right.
So you discovered that at a decent age. So you got some time to kind of work on that craft, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
Also, what are you good at and what are you passionate at? What are you passionate about? If you can combine those two things, if they so happen to be the same thing, that might be your purpose. That's a whole nother conversation. But if what you're passionate about and what you're really good at collide, they're the same thing, go there.
So when were you able to combine those two passions? Like what obstacles did you come across while on this road, while finding that music was your passion?
The thing is, like, I've gifted in music and I've always been gifted. I didn't know. I just did it because I liked it when I was younger. And I used to get picked on like in high school. And it's funny, like there was this girl like in class I liked, but like she found out that I can sing like on accident, and then like she started treating me better than before. Like when everybody was like joking about me, I was like, oh, light went off. I was like, okay, so this thing that like I'm naturally good at, people love me for it. And it's like, okay, this is who I am. Really, this is what I do naturally. So from there, I just started working on it, and I started getting better at it. And then when I knew I was passionate about it is when I can listen to a song that's like on the radio, or a song that I hear in my head, and I can make a song and I felt like it was just as good as that. And I was like, oh, wow. Like that feeling was like unmatched. I kept chasing that feeling. I was like, all right, if I can make something that I would want to listen to myself, if it was like Kanye or like whoever else that I really liked that was out of the time, and I played my song next to it and the quality didn't dip, I was like, okay, that just drove me. So, and then after that, when I started performing, it was a wrap. Performing took me to another level. Yeah.
What was one of your what's performing like for you? Like I see some of your shows and I've seen some of your videos, and you tend to kind of get loose a little bit. You seem like you're not afraid when you're on stage.
I think that's one of the few times I'm not afraid, period. I think that's one of my most confident spaces is like on the stage or like with the microphone in my hand. It's like, I don't know, it's like Superman in the booth. He comes as like the Superman cape. It's like the Spider-Man suit. It's like, that's like my superhero costumes, my mic.
Yeah.
And like the stage, I get on there and it's like I just transform. I'm still Cheakaity for sure, but like there's a completely different energy. Yeah, that's the best way. I think that's the best way to answer that question. Best way I can answer that question. But yeah, I definitely, COVID really did a number on me with performing. I did 2 shows, but
yeah,
I can't wait to get back for real.
How has COVID affected you? I know it's affected the music industry a lot. That's why we're seeing a lot of the versus battles online. Musicians are now streaming their products online and things like that.
Call it blessing in disguise. And I want to use this to encourage a lot of artists. A lot of things that seem like setbacks can work in your favor depending on your perspective. This year has been a perspective year for me. Funny, like 2020, like vision, think of sight and then perspective, right?
Right.
But I will say at first I took a blow. I had like 2 big shows lined up that were canceled. But on the flip side, I was able to reconnect with it's not really A&R, but like a high profile manager that I got connected with probably years ago that heard my music, that works with, I won't say his name, it's not like completely finalized yet, but really famous artist. He manages them and a couple other ones that are like a little more like middle of the pack. But I just, on a whim, I sent him my album and he hit me up right back away. And then I was able to set up like a meeting. And he said, yeah, I was able to listen to it because, you know, we're not on tour and nobody's doing anything. We're just all in the house. So I actually had time. And the album cover was amazing. And then I pressed play and I just couldn't stop playing it after that. And I was like, whoa. So from there, he's talking about, you know, doing some bigger things with me. And then the same thing just kept happening over and over with, you know, this artist here, this, you know, artist there, this label exec here, this label exec there. So it's like everybody had time to pay attention when other times I would be like fighting and just sitting, getting curved and like, oh yeah, listen to it. They never listened to it. So I don't know if that would have been the case. Maybe I just would have played those 2 shows and it would have been a different path and probably came away a different way later. But I don't know. The way things were, so much was able to happen. So I would say, yeah, this year, a lot of good things have happened for me this year, despite being like stuck at home most of the year, not being able to go to concerts. And I love concerts. It's my favorite thing to do. I love performing it too. So, but, you know, perspective, how you look at it is like, all right, I'm sitting down now. I've conceptualized my next project, just got more creative. So like when we do get to go back out, we can come out that much stronger.
So you mentioned working with different artists here and there. I know you were featured, you and GoldLink were featured on a Song Together function, right?
Certainly, yeah.
How was that? What was that process like? How was that experience?
It was, I will tell you too, another insider. We made that song in like 2015 and GoldLink wasn't even on it. So I was just at Cicero's house in Landover. And I was working on songs. He's like, oh yeah, just while you're here, you know, I know you sing, you just get on this hook. I was like, okay. And that's just the thing, just be open and just know when the energy is right. You know, don't just work with everybody, but know, kind of gauge it and know when it is right and be open. So I was open. I hopped on, me and April George from April and Vista. We came up with those backing harmonies together right there.
Yeah. And
then I just did it and forgot about it. So that's 2015. 3 years later, he hit me back. Oh yeah, remember that song we did? I actually got, first it was Chad's French that was supposed to be on it. And I was like, oh wow, that's great. He's kind of good. And then like something happened and another year passed. He's like, yo, we finally gonna put out a song, I promise, but you're not gonna believe. He sent me a video and I hear GoldLink. I was like, oh, okay. So this is right after the timing is crazy. This is right after Crew. He just got nominated for the Grammy. So this is fresh.
He's blowing up, yeah.
Like it looked that much better, you know what I mean? Rather than have it come out exactly when we made it. It has been something cool. But yeah, I think that's probably still the most streamed song I'm on. There's some other ones I'm on that's creeping up, but I think that's still just about right there.
Now, growing up, were you exposed to any type of lessons, any type of trainings or anything like that?
I was in church choir and a little bit. They taught me, sing for your diaphragm. I didn't know I could really like sing until I was probably like 15 or 16. And then it was just me just hearing what I hear in my head and just trying to put that out. So, I mean, I had briefly, maybe early 20s, I had like vocal lessons, but I never like stuck through it and had like a long stint of training. So it's just been me just soloing it out for real. I probably should take some like lessons, but me just like fooling around.
Well, I'm going to have to insert this plug real quick. So the library has this free resource called lynda.com and ArtistWorks. They're two different resources, and you can hop on it if you want. Viewers can hop on it. It's free. The ArtistWorks, it has professional instructors for almost any type of instrument out there, vocal lessons, scratching, bass, things like that. Lynda.com, it offers resources and videos and tutorials on how to mix and master, things like that. So this is for the audience. If you guys want to check that out, go to our website, go to online resources. It's free. You just need your library card. That's also free to do. And that can kind of help set you in the position or set you on the path that you want to be on.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Take advantage of every resource you can find for free, because there's a lot of free stuff out there. YouTube University, Reddit, the library. You can be really out here.
Oh, Reddit is a really good one too, man. Reddit has so many resources and opinions and advice. Just swarming through it. Now, you weren't always a solo artist. You definitely had a band, and I remember that band, Acme, right?
For sure.
Man, how was that? What was that experience?
That was, I call that often. I call that my college. That was like when all of my other peers were in like college, I was in Acme. So it was like a growing process, a learning process of just learning how to be independent, how to learn knowledge. That's where I get YouTube University from. So a lot of stuff, we didn't know anything about music business. We didn't know anything about making music. Like we started out, we were trash when we first started. But like gradually kept listening, comparing, finding new information, and just being creative and just like taking risk. That's a lot. I mean, a lot of those things you learn, like in college and stuff, you learn about yourself, you learn life lessons. Of course, you have the syllabus and everything they give you, but a lot of it, you learn character building. You learn how to work with other people. You meet new people. You make a lot of your connections. So a lot of that stuff was done in Acme. The manager I spoke briefly about before, I met him through a guy that did our sound for a random like hole in the wall show, but he loved it so much he like remembered us, and he went on to do like tour, being like a roadie and like a tour like guitar tech for like these artists. And he said, yo, every day like on the tour bus I played him your music and I would not stop talking about you. I was like, you're from where I'm from. I'm like, yo, I owe you one. Like when we make it out of here, like I owe you one for real.
Yes. It's about taking those opportunities.
For sure, man.
Heck yeah.
But yeah. That was definitely one of the most memorable times in my life, like musically, just the stuff we did. We used to we were squatting out of a house, and it was almost like a frat house, but we turned the living room into like a venue. And we put like lights, we made a little stage, we had like a sound system, and like people would come and like have concerts in our house. One time, I kid you not, we tallied up, it was like 500 people in a row house in DC. Craziest thing ever. Yeah, definitely not very legal, but it was awesome.
But it happened.
Yeah, it happened. Police couldn't stop it. They realized they couldn't shut down. So
they probably heard the music and started jamming too, man.
They gave up. It was right by Howard, so like they gave up after a while before we left. But it was fun.
So you also have a new album that just came out this year, right?
This year, yeah, April.
And it's Grown Man.
Grown Man.
Yes. I love the album work too. I love the music. I love the music. You have one song that's saying "Don't waste my time" in it, where you're singing in your falsetto, and it's just like, yes, hit those notes, man. What's your inspiration for Grown Man?
So like I said, I started making music professionally like around 19. Grown Man, I wanted to put it out on my 30th birthday. It ended up coming out a month later. My 30th birthday was March 1st. And I was like, all right, so I'm going to enter into a new decade of life. And I want this album to be like my coming of age type album. I want the sound to be a little bit more mature. I wanted to represent like what I've been listening to, like my life experiences growing up thus far, like kind of where I am. And the subject matter wasn't all about like growing up, but like the sound just sounded more like mature. Like stuff you would start to hear like on like the smooth, like the Quiet Storm radio stuff like that. Stuff with like more grooves, use more instruments. But I still had, I didn't want to sound old, but I wanted to sound grown. You don't want to be old man, you want to be grown man. So
I was getting somewhat of like a Childish Gambino feel off of those songs there.
Yeah, it was some of him in there. It was some I was listening to like D'Angelo, Raphael Sadiq.
Yeah.
This is a guy, Rashawn Patterson, I was listening to. He actually heard the album and liked it too. That was so crazy. Like I made a playlist of stuff that like I wanted to invoke those feelings of where I thought, oh, this is that grown and sexy music without coming off too cheesy. Make it still like edgy and fresh, refreshing, but still make it like, okay, cool, I can get with this, Right. Yeah.
Hey, you did a great job on it, man.
Thank you so much. Me and a team of people. Me and a beautiful team of people made it happen.
That's what it takes. You can't do it on your own.
Nope.
That's one thing I'm sure a lot of people realize on the process. You gotta have a crew. You gotta have somebody to support you.
Definitely. I'll say have a core where it's like 3 to maybe 5 people, and then you have like the people outside of that all do their little parts, but definitely get you like a core of like 3 good people that are really, really close to you and that you can trust. And y'all do most of the heavy lifting, and then you just outsource for everything else. That's a nugget that I'll give to artists for sure.
Yeah. All right, let's see, man. Now, do you have any other things that you might want to say to any new artists? Any other advice
Yeah, I'll say my most helpful. I'll give you a couple, but at the top of the list, spend the time to find out who you are as a person, who you are as an artist, and what do you sound like as an individual. Like find out, I said earlier, find out what you're good at. Like, okay, well, if you know you want to be a musician or any type of creative, you want to be a cook, like find your lane.
Right.
Find out you are an individual. Like you are the only person with your fingerprints. I still happen to be the only person with this name, Cheakaity, but like,
yeah.
I'm the only person with fingerprints. And you, Jade, you have different fingerprints, and everybody has. That means you're an individual. So find your lane and find out what you do specifically and what you do that is unique to you. And once you find that, find some people that believe in it.
Right.
And once you get that, you just keep moving forward. You don't quit. Sounds extremely cliche, but that's literally all it is. You found out what you do naturally and who you are as an individual, and you constantly try to improve and evolve that, and there's no way to be but successful. That's why you're here. That's what you call your purpose. Two, I would say what I said just prior to that, get you a team. What I try to do when I'm building a team is, all right, now that you know what you're good at, find out what you're not good at. Notice, acknowledge, identify and acknowledge your weaknesses. And then once you do that, you're going to be constantly looking. This is how you build your team. You find out people whose strengths are your weaknesses. So for me, I'll say I'm not very organized. So I'm going to find somebody who's the most organized person to make like, okay, you are going to be in charge of keeping show dates, sending emails. This is what you love to do, and this is what you do the best. So I'm going to put you in charge of that. Take your ego out of it and say, no, I can do everything the best because I'm just the best. No one's like that. Not even LeBron James. You notice, like, okay, there's certain things I can't do, so I need somebody that like can shoot threes like perfectly.
Right.
So you're gonna be the guy. You're gonna do that, and I'm gonna do this. So build your team that way. And let's see a last little nugget. I like to do things in threes. Let me see. Good one. Don't try to compare yourself to the next person / don't try to force yourself into a timeline. Timing is a real thing. Alignment is a real thing. Always try to make sure that you're like aligned with your purpose. So this is once you find out who you are, find out who your purpose is, align with that. And if it's something that comes up and it's contrary and it's taken away from your purpose, don't do it. But if it's something that's adding to it, do it. And I think those are the three most powerful pieces of advice I think I can give to a new artist.
Top tier advice from Cheakaity Brown.
Yes, sir.
All right, Cheakaity, I want to thank you for joining me today on The Spotlight.
Thank you so much for having me.
I appreciate all your words of wisdom. I'm sure people watching this will be able to take it and put it to their advantage and use it towards their next project as well. What we're going to have is we're going to have a small performance by you. You're going to be doing Roots, which it has a very catchy melody.
Yeah,
it's
man.
Very smooth. And you really let loose on it too. So I'm sure everybody watching this will enjoy it.
Thank you so much, man. Hope y'all enjoy the song. Follow me on all social at CheaKaity. It spells Cheakaity. Hit me up. I'm an open book. I love to chat with you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, man. Right. Take care.
All right, man. Peace.
I started to grow. Roots. 2, 3. La 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 try to see my before I Maybe she's a demon, but she reminds me of my niece. She's a monster in my closet. But a lady who goes every night around the double down. She works her little spell. Call my Uber back to heaven. Yeah. That's when she calls me back.
And after that, I started growing. Roots.
Awesome. Amazing. Once again, I want to thank Cheakaity Brown for joining us today. And remember to follow him on all streaming platforms, Spotify, YouTube, Tidal, almost anything you can think of. He is there. Just search his name and you'll find him. And also for those creatives looking to enhance their skills or develop some new ones, remember to join us and access our online resources. Go to lynda.com, go to ArtistWorks, and you may be able to freshen up your skills and develop some new ones for your journey. Awesome. Thank you guys for joining us today on The Spotlight. Until next time.